तो कनेक्ट होके कुछ काम कर रहा था। आपका आदेश है तो हाजिर रहना पड़ता है ना।
अरे वाह, हम बोले कल इनको हम काजीरंगा सैंक्चुअरी में ले लिए थे।
हाँ, साथ में घूम रहा मैं आपके।
हाँ, तो वहां से आज पटना ले आए। फिलहाल इनको वो जो नील गाय वहाँ फेमस होता है काजीरंगा में।
हाँ हाँ। तो मंडल साहब नमस्ते।
डॉली मैम, गुड मॉर्निंग डॉली मैम।
या सुशील कुमार जी नमस्ते।
मैम प्लीज अनम्यूट।
हाँ यस।
या सुभाष जी नमस्ते।
गुड मॉर्निंग। यस यस
गुड मॉर्निंग गुड मॉर्निंग।
अरे रोहित
यस सर।
अरे कुंडूदा को अनम्यूट करो। कुंडूदा
यस सर।
कुंडूदा आवाज सुनाई नहीं दे रहा है।
अरे आप कुंडूदा को नहीं जानते। कुंडूदा इज द पर्सन।
अभी ठीक हो गया।
Kunduda is the person who brought me to the CSI, and to become the president of CSI. How can I forget him? He is the main person who brought me to the platform.
Yes.
वो हमको प्लेटफॉर्म में खड़ा कर दिया, हम ट्रेन पकड़ के चले।
ठीक है अभी ठीक हो गया।
ठीक हो गया ना? वेरी गुड।
His name, Nayak sir.
Yes sir.
His name is very popular in CSI.
अरे भाई CSI का इंटरनेशनल फोटोग्राफर।
Yes.
अरे ये रोहित।
Yes sir.
Only Dolly ma'am is having some technical problem. He's just joining. What for?
Dolly ma'am joined sir.
Joined. Very good. Good morning ma'am. Good morning. And let me introduce all of my brothers. Then we will start. So here is Dr. Mansotra from Jammu University, Jammu and Kashmir, representing the northern region.
Namaskar, madam. Namaskar.
And next to him, Dr. J.K. Mandal,
नमस्कार,
representing the East, Kalyan University, professor and former dean. Then next to him, Dr. R.R. Deshmukh from the Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, representing to the West, and professor and former dean of the university, as well as the former president of the ICT section. So, and then there is the Dr. Subhash Jadhav, very known to you, from the Central University, Jharkhand. And today's moderator is Dr. Prashant Nair, Director of IQAC and of the Amrita Vidyapitham University, representing to the South. Beside that, Dr. Sumimal Kundu is here, who is one of the senior veteran of the Computer Society of India, and really the person who introduced me in the CSI 38 years back. And another is our Kanchipuram chapter, most dynamic, vibrant office bearer is there, Dr. Senthil Kumar.
Yes, Professor. Good morning. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, Professor.
He is there, and
morning,
he is
Professor.
one of our most vibrant and dynamic office bearer of any of the chapter of the country. Conducted more than hundreds of activities in this pandemic period in the aegis of the chapters, and many other persons might be there but not visible to me right now. Kindly excuse me. When you will be visible, I will make your introduction. And Rohit and Dolly ma'am is the chief guest of the today's occasion, and very closely related to me, and since so many years we have worked in the different platform, and most active and dynamic Vice Chancellor of the universities of the Bihar, and we'll be discussing the total introduction. She is one of the most well-wisher of the Computer Society of India, Indian Science Congress, as well as our group of institutions, India, IEBM and Dr. Zakir Hussain Institute. Thank you very much. Now, Rohit,
Yes,
you
sir.
should start your job. Shweta, where is Shweta?
Yeah, Shweta is also joined, sir.
Shweta.
Good morning, sir. I'm here.
And here is Shweta, our young and vibrant director of the Indian Institute of Business Management. And she is looking after all the academic parts of the institute, and previously she had been at Singapore as well as Bangalore in different organizations, and but ultimately she had to return back to Patna to take over with the charges with Rohit, and to whom I have told you several times. Rohit is the son of Professor late Professor Dr. UK Singh, the founder of the group of institution, and to whom I always treat as my son, like my son, and he is actually really more than my son, and Sweta is more than my daughter. So they are working very well, and they are mixing the culture of academic and corporate both in the for the input of the students. Okay, thank you. All these preliminary introduction, the detailed introduction to Rohit will be giving at the part of the webinar. Rohit, please start. We are already 10 minutes behind. Okay.
Okay. So once again, as Dolly ma'am is calling, sir, just 1 minute, sir. Ma'am, please unmute. Dolly ma'am. Okay. I think
maybe some technical issue.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute, sir. Okay, sir. Naik sir, there is a network issue from Dolly ma'am's side. Dolly ma'am is not getting our voice. We are getting her voice, but Dolly ma'am is not getting any of our voice.
What will happen then?
So let her, I think, just come out from the screen and then let rejoin. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Tell her to rejoin.
Leave and join.
Yes,
leave
sir.
and rejoin. Leave and rejoin. Then it will come. It's a channel.
Dolly ma'am, is our voice is coming? Please unmute, ma'am.
Otherwise, he can leave and join.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it is now. ले आपका आवाज तो हम लोग सुन लेते हैं. हाँ अभी आ गया. हाँ आ गया. हाँ नहीं अभी आपका टाइम नहीं है. अब तो जस्ट स्टार्ट होगा. आपको वेट कर रहे थे. बीच में हम आपका आप सभी मेंबर्स को आपका साथ इंट्रोड्यूस कराए. आपका इंट्रोडक्शन भी सबको दिए. ओके फिर तो री इंट्रोड्यूस होगा. ठीक. नहीं but you are listening me. Oh, not to the meeting. Acha. You should do one thing. You should go out and again rejoin. Rohit.
Yes, sir.
Rohit.
Yes,
we
sir.
are
Yes,
listening her, but she is not listening us.
That is the problem, sir. Yes, sir.
I told her to quit and then rejoin.
Sure, sir. So
this
we must have to wait, sir.
No problem. But yesterday we had been at Assam. We have thought that the Northeast region might have some problem. You can't believe that 2 hour plus webinar conducted without any interruption. Isn't it, Dr. Deshmukh?
Yeah, sir. Yeah. It was without interruption. Very smoothly. 2.5 hours. Yeah.
So next, sir, we will wait for another 2 minutes as ma'am is not joined, sir.
Ma'am, I have told ma'am to just disconnect and then connect.
Yes, sir.
Why? There is some problem from your side?
No, sir. There is a network congestion from ma'am's side.
But we are hearing her voice.
Yes, sir. She is again joining the session.
We are hearing her voice. If there is some problem from her side, then how are we are joining her voice?
Yeah, Dolly ma'am, please unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay, Rohit, start.
Yes, sir. We can start the session now. So once again, very warm good morning to all dear respected guests, participants, and my dear friends. So today we are gathered here for this one-day national webinar on digital transformation and higher education. To start this process, I'd like to welcome Professor Sweta Gaur ma'am for the welcome address. She is the Director Academics of Indian Institute of Business Management, Patna.
Thank you, Rohit sir. Thank you very much. Again, a very warm good morning to all the dignitaries here for the panel discussion on digital transformation and higher education. And this occasion is brought to us upon by Professor Dr. A.K. Nayak. Professor Nayak is the advisor of IIBM Group, former president and fellow CSI and member Data Management Committee ISO. So Indian Institute of Business Management has always been very keen on bringing the latest digital practices into our education system. And our late founder, Director General, Professor U.K. Singh and Professor Dr. A.K. Nayak have been those two visionaries who have always ensured that the group is at the helm when it comes to digital practices. So Professor Nayak introduced the chapters, CSI chapters, way back when like nobody actually knew it. He introduced CSI into the education system and we were ahead of everyone else. And under his guidance, the quality of education, digital practices have been ensured, and we are still benefiting from his mentorship. Even today, IIBM is taking all the efforts to ensure that we make the use of digital advancement, not only in imparting education in the classes, but to also ensuring the service to the students. So whether it is ERP, exploring avenues of social media, mobile apps, or digital library, we are doing our best. And for this occasion, I am very pleased to felicitate and welcome the chief guest, Professor Dolly Sinha ji, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lalit Narayan, Mithila University, Darbhanga. Welcome, ma'am. I also welcome other dignitaries of the occasion, our moderator, Professor Prashant R. Nair, Chairman, IAQC, Amrita Vishwa Vidya Peetham University, Tamil Nadu. My heartfelt felicitations to Professor Vibhakar Mansotra, Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, University of Jammu, Jammu and Kashmir. Professor J.K. Mondal, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Technology, Kalyani University, West Bengal. Welcome, sir. Also welcome to Professor P.R. Deshmukh, Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Maharashtra. Professor S.C. Yadav, Professor and HOD of Computer Science and Central University of Jharkhand. Sir, welcome. Also, a very warm felicitation to Dr. Kundu, our veteran member, CSI, Dr. Senthil Kumar from Kanchipuram chapter. And I am also very excited to listen and look forward to the discussion, which is very relevant because data is king when it comes to digital world, and data-driven decisions can make a huge difference the way we impart education and we assess our own performance. So I would just request Nayak sir to please preside over the session and begin. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sweta ma'am, for your introduction, for the respected dignitaries. So
Thanks.
now we'll move towards our next session, that is the presidential address, and we did not need any introduction for a man who is on a mission, the man who is famous as a webinar man, none other than Professor Dr. A.K. Naik sir, who is the president of this webinar. So once again, I like to call Professor Dr. A.K. Naik sir for the presidential address.
Thank you very much, Rohit. Very hearty good morning to all of you, all the participants connected with this one-day national webinar on a very important and a very prominent theme, that is the digital transformation and higher education. Most vibrant and dynamic and learned Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor of LN Mithila University, Darbhanga, Bihar, Honorable Madam Dolly Sinha ji, the honorable panelist of the today's webinar, Dr. Vivakar Mansotra, my younger brother and close associate and friend, the professor of the University of Jammu, who has headed many other departments, including the computer center of the same university, and has contributed very significantly for the upliftment and development of the IT education, particularly in that region. Dr. J.K. Mandal, the professor of the Kalyani University and former head and dean of the same university, and at present the chairman of the IET Center of the West Bengal Center. Dr. R.R. Deshmukh, professor and former head of Department of Computer Science and Information Technology of Baba Saheb Ambedkar University, Marathwada University of Aurangabad, Maharashtra. My academic son and my most beloved Professor Dr. Subhash Jadhav, the professor and head Department of Computer Science and Technology of Central University, Jharkhand. My beloved academic son and most young and vibrant personality, Professor Dr. Prashant Rayar, the director of IQAC of the Amrita Vidyapitham University, who will be acting today as the moderator. And I have rightly chosen him as the moderator because he has performed similar kinds of jobs in past in the banner of the Computer Society of India, when he had been the editor of our most prestigious journal, that is CSI Communication, and taken the interview of many of the vibrant personalities, including the chairman of the AICT, the chairman of the NBA, and many vibrant personalities, and also conducted many such kinds of activities. Dr. Subimal Kundu, who is also present, one of the most senior veteran of the Computer Society of India. I can rather tell Dada is the person who brought me to the Computer Society of India in before 35 years back in 2086, when I became the founder secretary of CSI Patna chapter. How can I forget this? Because he has just helped me in standing at the platform. Then I took the train and made my journey and elevated to the post of National President of the Computer Society of India. My sincere gratitude to him, as well as the heartfelt thankfulness also. And our one of the most vibrant office bearer and secretary of the CSI Kanchipuram chapter, Dr. Senthil Kumar, I can tell he is one of the best, whether we move east or west. Conducted more than hundreds of the activities during the pandemic period under the aegis of the CSI Kanchipuram chapter. How many what much amount of the compliments can be given to him? It is quite less. Other dignitaries who are present here, the professor and teachers of the Indian Institute of Business Management and Dr. Zakir Hussain Institute, and prominently the convener of this webinar, Professor Ganesh Pandey, the Deputy Director of Indian Institute of Business Management, Rohit Kumar, the Secretary of CSI Patna chapter and host of this webinar, and Mr. CN Prasad, the Chairman of the Computer Society of India Patna chapter, other dignitaries, invitees, and dearest and nearest students who have been connected in this important webinar, that is digital transformation and higher education. Really, the IABM is proud enough for getting all these dignitaries today in a common forum and to participate and deliberate upon in the 41th webinar that have been conducted in the pandemic period under the aegis of Indian Institute of Business Management. I must have to mention here, during the pandemic period, so under the banner of Computer Society of India and its different chapters, we became able and capable to conduct near about 700 number of webinars throughout the country, which might be a record in itself. Perhaps no professional and technical societies of the country can have the credit of conducting so many number of activities, whether it is webinar, whether it is national conference, seminar, workshop, faculty development program, short-term training program in the virtual mode. This unique credit goes to the Computer Society of India, and that credit has come due to the association of my younger brothers and my elder brothers like this, who have contributed selflessly without any interest for the cause and benefits of the mankind during this pandemic period, as well as for cause of the upliftment of the Computer Society of India. Today we can proudly tell, we under the banner of Computer Society of India and our friends and our brothers and our youngsters have contributed a lot. During this period, I am just a coordinator. I have coordinated and we have connected near about more than 300 experts throughout the country and more than 50 number of experts from abroad. And all are, we have not spent a single penny and single paisa. All are volunteer service. Because we thought at this pandemic period, if we could do something for the benefit of the IT professionals, for the benefit of the IT students and computer science students of the different universities and colleges, and for the young IT professionals in the tune of the assistant professor and young industry professional. And we can provide the knowledge of, we can provide the updates of the knowledges to them and without any cost. Perhaps this will be a little contribution towards the society, perhaps it will be a little service to the cause of the mankind during this distress period, during this pandemic period. And today, in the auspicious occasion of the 41 webinar of the Indian Institute of Business Management, I must have to express my sincere gratitude and millions of thankfulness for the gracious presence of our honorable chief guest, Professor Dr. Dolly Sinha, who is an authority so far as the digital transformation is concerned. I've been very much closely associated with her in different academic practices throughout my careers at Patna, in different things. When she had been the principal of the Magad Mahila College, she has brought the college into the scale of height, and the NAC accreditation of A grade have been given at that time. Then became the dean of the Patna University, became the pro-vice chancellor of the Patna University, and during that time, he has activated a lot of scientific activities and made the university completely digitally transformed. It is due to her initiative, the Patna University have been completely digitally transformed so far as the examination, so far as the registration and different practices are concerned. Now she has taken the charge of the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the Mithila University, which is situated at the North Bihar, Darbhanga, and one of the largest university at this time in the state of Bihar. So definitely we are looking forward again for a completely digital transformation of that university, and that digital transformation in which she is engaged, that is definitely contributing significantly for the growth and cause of the higher education. On the same occasion, my beloved brothers, and even I told my beloved academic sons who have been present today to make this webinar magnified and give the color to this webinar, and they are very closely associated with me since so many years. Whether you tell Dr. Vivakar Mansotra, you tell Dr. J.K. Mandal, Dr. R.R. Deshmukh, Subhash Yadav, and Prasad Nayak. We are having the relationship of the decades, not only in the professional platform, but we do have a very heart-to-heart and a personal relationship, because I always do believe on that. Relationship one existed, that should be forever. I can just complimented by the presence of the Honorable Chief Guest and all the dignified personality to this webinar. ना हर रात को चांद नसीब होता है, ना हर रात को चांद नसीब होता है, ना हर इंसान को मंजिल प्राप्त होता है, ना हर इंसान को मंजिल प्राप्त होता है, ना सभी वेबिनार में आप लोग जैसे महानुभाव का उपस्थित होता है. So really the IEBM is very much grateful for that. And हम ये भी बोल सकता हूँ, जैसे कि सूरज का बिना सुबह न होती, जैसे कि सूरज का बिना सुबह नहीं होती, चांद का बिना रात नहीं होती, बादल का बिना बरसात नहीं होती, क्या करो दोस्त, आपका बिना कोई वेबिनार का कल्पना भी नहीं होती. मैं तो ये भी बोलना चाहूंगा, अगर आप न होते ये वेबिनार न होता हमारा, अगर आप न होते ये वेबिनार न होता हमारा, ये वेबिनार का आंगन में फूल है आप, मैं तो माली हूं तुम्हारा. मैं तो जस्ट ए कोऑर्डिनेटर इन ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सो मेनी वेबिनार्स इन द कंट्री. It at length of the west, south, or north, anywhere. I've never, I and my team and my brothers and all close associates have never thought which part should be more considered. Even if the northeast part of the country, which should be also deprived from the inclusive growth of the national growth, but today, so far as the presence of the Computer Society is concerned, now that is available in all the 8 sister states of the Northeast region. And we have conducted, with the help of Dr. J.K. Mandal, and several activities in the northeast part of the country. We have just working the thought of to satisfy the great Pankti of Bhagavad Gita, Aham nijo parveti svabhav laguteta sang udara chetasang cha vasudhaiva kutumbakam. That philosophy we have taken as the CSI professional, and how we can contribute might be very less, but should be significantly for the growth of the country, for touching the imagination of our Honorable Prime Minister, who have given the slogan, Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat. Self-confident Bharat, self-reliable Bharat, Atmanirbhar Bharat, that we have seen. And when we are talking of the Atmanirbhar Bharat, definitely the information and communication technology, the digital transformation plays an important role in this regard, in this direction. Nobody can doubt that we have already experienced during this pandemic period. In this pandemic period, when everything becomes standstill, and when we have cut off all relationship with the China, where the China was having the 74% of the nearby business with India, and people have thought how we can be managing the situation. We did not have the kits, we did not have any medical equipment and all these things to tackle such a great pandemic. But the thing is that we became the slogan, the Atmanirbhar Bharat has given the boost to the citizens of the country, to the scientists of the country, to the professionals of the country, that everything we manage of ourselves. Rather, we became in a position to export the things to the other countries. We are having the self-designed and self-manufactured vaccines, and we are very pioneers so far as it is concerned, and most effective vaccine, and we are #1 so far as the vaccination is concerned. And ICT has also, this digital transformation has also played much vital role in this direction. When the country was in standstill, whether you tell it is the supply chain management, it is the medical information system, paramedical information system, whatever the education system, all these things have been managed by the application of the ICT, and due to the effective digital transformation in the country. We have dreamed about the education 4.0. It is due to the digital transformation, and this is the technology has compelled us to go further and further, and that is why we are talking, and we are also dreaming of to have the education 4.0 along with the industry 4.0. As I do remember, Swami Vivekananda has told, necessity is the mother of invention, and every cover is uncovered when it is discovered. And प्रत्येक आच्छादित चीज तब उन्मेलित हो जाता है जब हम इसको आविष्कार कर लेते हैं. And we did accordingly during this pandemic period. We Indians did accordingly during this pandemic period. We have recognized our self-confidence. We have recognized our self-potentiality. As Swamiji has told, every man born with infinite potentiality, but it depends on him how he can recognize the potentiality within him and how much he can convert into the kinetic form. And we did that, we have shown that, and so far the digital transformation is concerned, we are not lagging behind. And people tells India is going to be a superpower so far as the ICT application is concerned, so far as the digital transformation is concerned. Definitely, we are second in the world so far as the software export is concerned, and our domestic consumption so far as the software is concerned, very good and very excellent, because it is the largest country having 1.35 billion of the persons and provide the e-governance service to the peoples and providing the services at the doorsteps of the citizens, which is the ambition of our Honorable Digital Prime Minister, definitely will help us to make the digital transformation in a huge quantum in the future day to come. The vision that by the end of the 2022, the total digital India project should be completely implemented and will be creating of the job of the tune of 11.2 crores, as well as that every citizen should be digitally empowered, and a country is having 69% of the people who are living in the villages and the depressed class and deprived class, for whom we tell there is a digital gap between the urban and rural. But definitely that gap is going to be marginalized, that gap is going to be reduced due to this digital transformation in the country. You will be happy to note that. And everybody knows we are having 250,000 of the Gram Panchayat in the country, and all Gram Panchayat have been connected by the community services centers. And we are having 660,000 villages in the country. And you will be happy to note that by the end of this year, 1 lakh of the villages have also been connected with the internet connectivity by the end of 2020. And all the 660,000 villages can be connected with the internet connectivity. And there might be a complete digital transformation inside the country after some days. And whatever it might be due to the digital transformation, what we could not do till today, even if after the 75 year of the independence, we could not provide the basic education to all the person. In 2011 census, we are having 70.4% of the literacy. And in Indian context, we understand literacy means only the signature. We did not achieve till today, but we do feel by the implementation of the education 4.0, due to the effect of the digital transformation, perhaps the Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, which has never been fulfilled, never been successful by the efforts of the government of India till today, and we are quite ambitious, this will be definitely fulfilled, and the rural youth will be getting the access to the higher education through the online education, because UGC has started the online education and online program through many of the universities. So इसका तो हम उम्मीद रखते हैं, क्योंकि उम्मीद में हम जीते हैं. Definitely through the digital transformation, whatever the objective we could not have satisfied after the 75 year of the independence, we will be able to satisfy in the future day to come. This is our anticipation, this is our imagination, ये हमारा उम्मीद है. मैं तो एक पॉजिटिव कंसेप्ट का आदमी सब टाइम में मानता हूँ. उम्मीद को उम्मीद पे जीते हैं, उम्मीद को उम्मीद से ना कभी जुदा करते हैं. उम्मीद पे रहेंगे तो आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे, उम्मीद छोड़ देंगे तो कहाँ का नहीं रहेंगे. This should be the positiveness of a person, this should be the positiveness of the organization, this should be tempo of the country, so that in the complete digital transformation will be definitely made, and definitely it will make a tremendous change so far as the higher education is concerned. We are quite fortunate. It is very matter of happiness that the new education policy 2020 which has come up, and you see the 40% of the inputs will be online based, and a lot of stress have been given how the digital transformation can have an inclusive effect on the new education policy. Whatever you tell, whether it is digital administration, whether it is a higher education administration, whether it is policy making, whether it is the higher education recruitment, whether any kinds of things, and the accessing as well as the examination system, everywhere there will be the reflection of the impact of the digital transformation. Over to that, the complete inspection and verification system will be also managed in automatic manner through the digital transformation, and there will be no formal and physical inspection in the next future years, and it has been kept targeted that within 15 years these kinds of things will be eliminated, and everything will be self-managed and and everything will be IT based. And all lot of measures we have been taken. Our learned speakers will be telling on that. I don't want to take much time because it has already been late. But with these few words, I once again welcome all the dignitaries, including our honorable chief guest, and we are quite on behalf of Indian Institute of Business Management, on behalf of our group of institutions, on behalf of the 2 universities that has been established by this group at the northeast part of India, I once again express my millions of thankfulness and billions of gratitude for the gracious presence of your all, and to make this webinar quite successful. With these words, once again, I pray to the God, all the participants who are participating in this webinar, may God help each of them to pick up the daffodils from their future professional career. Thank you very much. Namaskar to everybody and welcome to this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much, Naik sir. You have just flowed a huge, tremendous amount of energy in us, sir. Thank you, sir. So now we will move towards our next session, and now it's a time for the address by the chief guest. And today's chief guest is none other than Professor Dr. Dolly Sinha ma'am. Before we proceed, let me introduce Dolly ma'am. Professor Dr. Dolly Sinha ma'am is presently the Pro Vice Chancellor of Lalit and Mithila University, Darbhanga, Bihar. Prior to that, she was Pro Vice Chancellor at Patna University. Prior to the present assignment, she headed the Department of Physics, served as a Dean Student Welfare, Patna University, and Principal of Magad Mahila College. She is an enthusiast, result-oriented teacher, a committed researcher, and an astute administrator. She has been involved in education service with experience of more than 39 years. A PhD in physics from IIT Delhi, India. She has published a number of papers in scholarly journals of physics and material sciences, including the Journal of Applied Physics, USA. So with these words, I like to welcome Professor Dr. Dolly Sinha ma'am for the address of the chief guest.
Namaskar and very good afternoon to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Namaskar once again. Very good morning to all of you, respected dignitaries, participants, media people, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear students. I am extremely happy to be in the company of many distinguished academicians, experts, scientists, and personalities like Professor A.K. Nayak, advisor, IIBM Group, former president, CSI, member, Data Management Committee, International Standard Organization, and presiding over the conference today. Just now, we have heard him speaking, and when he speaks with so much of data, and they are studded like diamonds. And he has given the complete picture of digital transformation today. He is a towering personality in the field of computer, IT, and related education and research. He is a great administrator and a great teacher too.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And after he spoke and he touched all aspects of digital transformation, particularly in the context of India, I think we are very fortunate to hear him. We have with us Professor Prashant K. Nair, and I also thank him for introducing everybody so affectionately. He is such a friendly and affectionate person that he makes everyone as a relative. So he has so many, Dr. Nayak has so many qualities in him that one conference can be done on himself. We can done a seminar or symposium on Dr. A.K. Nayak too.
Very much.
He
Thank
is
you very much.
presently the webinar man of India. Along with him, we have some very learned personalities. Professor Prashant Nair of Ambika Vishwavidyapeetham University, Tamil Nadu. Professor Vibhakar Mansotra of University of Jammu. Professor R.R. Deshmukh, Dr. Baba Saheb Marathawada University, Maharashtra. Professor J.K. Mandal of Kalyani University, West Bengal. Dr. Subhash Chandra Yadav of Central University of Jharkhand. Members. He is also a member of the organizing committee. Professor Rohit Kumar, Director, Zakir Hussain Group of Institutes, Patna, and also Secretary of CSI Patna chapter and coordinator of this seminar. Dr. Sweta Gaur, Director, IIBM Patna and convener of this seminar. Dr. C.N. Prasad, Chairman, CSI Patna chapter and convener of this seminar. And Dr. Ganesh Pandey, Deputy Director, IIBM Patna and convener of this seminar. Dear friends, I extend my greetings and best wishes to all of you once again. I am really happy to be part of this national webinar on the topic Digital Transformation and Higher Education, being organized by Indian Institute of Business Management, Patna, in technical collaboration with Education and Research Wing of Computer Society of India, Patna chapter. The credit goes, of course, to Professor A.K. Nayak, Dr. Sweta Gaur, Director, IIBM Patna, and convener of this seminar, and Professor Rohit Kumar, coordinator of this seminar, and their team members from IIBM, Dr. Ganesh Pandey, and others. And they deserve all the praise for organizing the webinar on such a relevant issue today. I appreciate their effort and congratulate them all. I'm sure that along with the delegates and registered participants, a large number of common people, particularly the students community, will be hugely benefited through the deliberations of this seminar. Now, focusing on digital transformation, let us first understand the term in my own way. What is digital transformation? Digital transformation to me is the adoption of technology to transform services, business by replacing manual processes with digital ones. Digital transformation is revolutionizing the way business approach their operations, product and service offerings, marketing efforts, and every other facet of organizations, governance, and interests. If we look at higher education, which involves large number of beneficiaries, that is the students and the proportionate number of teachers and support staff, it can be compared to one of the biggest industries. I am afraid that many people may not like the term business being attached to higher education. But we cannot deny that whatever name we call it, higher education is well positioned to derive considerable benefits from digital transformation and needed to adopt digital ways in the same manner as the business houses. And why not? Ultimately, the goal of digital transformation is to streamline business operations and serve customers in the best possible way. This is also applicable to higher education. In higher education, the customers or the clients are the students, and each of them has every right to get the best at most affordable expenditure. Today, learners have immense amount of learning options to choose from, namely private versus public schools, online versus on-campus learning, and full-time versus part-time enrollment. Thus, the service providers in this case, the service providers are the schools, the colleges, institutions, and universities, and they also need to be highly competitive. If higher education institutions want to survive and not disappear from the stage. It is necessary that they evolve an integrated strategy to digital transformation within a reasonable time frame. For that, a higher education institution needs to evaluate its financial capacity and assets. Here, asset implies both in terms of physical assets like the equipments and the devices required for the purpose, as well as human resources, that is the technically skilled human manpower or employees. Exploiting efficiently all potentialities and the opportunities opens up by the wealth of digital technologies available today. Redefining complete business models across the entire value chain is not an easy task. Rather, it is quite challenging. This challenge is more pressing for organizations that permanently try to assure they have competitive position in the global education market. But the same concern is becoming pertinent for all colleges and universities as competition to select the best students and researchers and retain them is a common goal for all higher educational institutions. Already a key strategic initiative for last 1 decade or so, digital transformation has become particularly important during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is observed that the situation stemming from the COVID pandemic has in fact accelerating the digital transformation efforts in most of the organizations all over the world, and so in India, and so in higher education too. Some willingly and many unwillingly had to adopt the change. I emphasize that this is high time to welcome the change. There is no doubt that the future of education stands on a blended environment. And fortunately for India, the new education policy, NEP 2020, envisioned it at the right time and stated the policy to ensure growth of higher education in the country. Interdisciplinary education and research with provision of credit transfer, academic bank of credit, and national academic depository are some of the highlights of the NEP 2020. To ensure effective transaction of all these, higher education need to mandatorily adopt digital transformation. Coming back to Indian context, Digital India, a flagship program of Government of India, was launched in the year 2015, more than 6 years ago from now, with the vision to transform the country into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. The main objective of the program is to provide digital infrastructure as a core utility to every citizen, empower them to handle digital tools, and provide good governance and services on demand. Since the launch of the program, digital applications are being adopted not only in core digital sectors such as IT and business process management, digital communication services, electronics and manufacturing units, but also in various other sectors, including agriculture, energy, financial services, healthcare, logistics, and retail, and most importantly, education, as well as other government services. The COVID-19 induced situation has accelerated the digital transformation exponentially and ensured business continuity. India is now the second fastest digitizing economy and increasingly recognized as a global force. The researchers at Harvard University rightly phrased that India is leapfrogging into the fourth industrial revolution. The supportive policies of the government of India enabled a digital transformation at a speed and a scale we have never seen before. The nation's investment in new technology and a huge internet market driven by large number of connected consumers, the country has emerged as an upcoming leader in digital solutions. Unfortunately, the education industry is still a prime example of people's reluctance to embrace change. Leadership, administrators, faculty, and other institutional support staff members often like to stay tucked in their comfort zone, making it hard to introduce new technologies or skill sets. But there is not any option anymore. To drive your institution forward, everyone needs to be on board and ready to welcome the much needed change towards digital transformation. Resource crunch is, of course, a big issue, especially for public universities and colleges. With limited financial capacity, they need to strategize better. And here, the role of leadership is very, very important. We cannot compromise with the basic requirements of devices, software, service providers, and skilled manpower. But there are other areas where through collaboration and the cost can be shared and it can also be reduced. Of course, there are huge amount of free contents available in the form of various MOOC like SWAM and NAPTEL at Government of India's initiative. However, higher educational institutions must work toward designing and preparing their own contents. So when we talk of digital transformation of higher educational institutions, I can broadly divide in two parts. One is the governance part and other is the academic part. And the academic part, the preparation of good content and delivery of the content to the students is very, very important. And here I have a few suggestions, like while preparing the contents, we all know that most of the universities and colleges, not only in Bihar, but also outside Bihar in India, and in fact, all over the world, there is a huge resource crunch of qualified teachers, particularly in few subjects and where very much specialization is required. So collaboration is a key word. I would like to use that by collaborating with sister institutions, the institutions having resource crunch can reduce their expenses and they can prepare better contents. So content preparation, research facilities, innovation, sharing faculties, these are some of the areas which can be adopted to reduce the cost. Here I can just mention about a case study which was recently adopted by my own university, Mithila University. What we have done for UG and PG classes, now we are all organizing online classes. So we have made a central pool of teachers and divided the syllabus among all the teachers of the universities. Now the colleges are organizing their own classes, but we at the university level have centralized the online classes and conducting both UG and PG classes in a centralized manner where all the teachers of the university are collaborating. So that is the beauty of digitalization, that we can work from anywhere and we can also deliver anywhere. Our students may be at the remote corner, but we can deliver to the students, and we, the teachers from various places of the same university or neighboring universities, can work together, even at distance universities can work together and do the best for our students. Another issue, while talking of digital transformation and higher education, is important to me is the promotion of regional language. We know that large number of content through SWAM and NAPTEL is already available in the available for the students, but we know that our students come from different. India is a country of diversity, and that is the beauty of India. We have large diversity in language, in culture, in religion, everything. So our students understand different language, not English or just Hindi, in which those contents are prepared. So we have to speak to our students, we have to communicate with them in the language that they understand. So here is the importance that the promotion of region contents in regional languages may be promoted. This is also very important. Along with that, the capacity building, all our teachers and support staffs are still not very confident in handling digital tools and facilities that those are available. So any higher educational institution must constantly work on capacity building. Also, being a socialist country, I feel that inclusion is a very important factor. And as Dr. Nayak also mentioned, we have large number of villages and there is a huge disparity of availability of computers and IT facilities in different parts or different zones. Like we say, the urban and the rural divide. I prefer to use the have and have not. Some people have the access and some do not have the access. So there is also for all higher educational institutions, and especially for those which are well placed with equipments and other gadgets and facilities or infrastructure, we can say, the IT infrastructure, they have huge institutional social responsibility. And I feel that all of them must adopt at least 1, 2, or 5, 10, whatever number they can afford to adopt and help them develop digital transformation. So that is my idea through which we can take digital transformation to nook and corner of the country. I understand that the students are the target audience of today's webinar. It's especially for them. They will be highly benefited, I believe, and I encourage them to ask questions. After the session, I think the panelists will be there to discuss issues, and I request the students that do ask questions. Whatever doubt arise in your mind, place them before the distinguished panelists during the panel discussion session, and I'm sure they will clarify your doubts. But ask questions only on the relevant theme of the webinar. That is also very important. When we work digitally, then we should be very, very focused. Once again, I thank you all. You being a wonderful audience. I thank you all. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your gracious presence and blessing this occasion and delivering your very thoughtful and provoking inaugural address. We have almost completed all domains of the uh, mm, domains of the applications of the digital transformation in the higher education, and particularly how the higher education will be getting the momentum under the aegis of the new education policy with the collaboration with the implementation of the digital transformation. So definitely the participants who are participating today might have learned a lot of things and might have got and grasped a lot of things, along with that will be morely enriched with the presence of our next succeeding that but panelists and all these things. That is why perhaps it has been told in Bhagavad Gita, the यद्यदा चरति श्रेष्ठा तत्तदा इतरे जना सहजत प्रमाण कुरुते जनाः तदनुवर्तते। अर्थात महाजन देन गतस्य पंथा, जो विद्वत जन बोलते हैं हम आप इसको अनुसरण करते हैं और वही पंथ वही पथ में यदि हम अग्रसर होते हैं हम जरूर मंजिल प्राप्त करते हैं। आपका ये मार्गदर्शन आज का वेबिनार में बहुत बहुत माने लाभदायक है और हम उम्मीद करते हैं हमारा जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स है they will be benefited a lot from this. Thank you very much once again, and I express the gratitude on behalf of the managing committee of all of our institutions. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your gracious presence and excellent deliberation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dolly Sinha ma'am, for your splendid speech, ma'am. So now, dear audience, we will move towards our next session. And now it's a turn for the panelist session, panel discussion round. And before we proceed to the panel discussion, let me introduce our today's panelists. Our today's panelists are Dr. Vivakar Mansotra, is the Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, Dean, Faculty of Mathematical Sciences, former Head, Department of Computer Science and IT, and former Director, Center for IT, University of Jammu. He is having more than 29 years of experience in teaching, training, research, and administration. He has more than 60 publications in the national and international journals. We are having another panelist, Dr. J.K. Mandal, sir. He is a professor, Department of Computer Sciences and Engineering. He was former Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology and Management. Dr. Mandal is the Director of IQAC and Chairman CIRM and Placement Cell, Kalyani University. He was former Chairman CSI Kolkata and Siliguri Chapter. He is a Chapter Chairman of IETE Kolkata, an experienced educationist with a humble personality. Our next panelist is Dr. Subhash Chandra Yadav, sir. He is a Professor and Head, Department of Computer Sciences and Technology, Central University of Jharkhand, Ranchi. He is having more than 23 years of experience in teaching, training, and academia. He is having more than 4 books published and 5 chapters, as well as research paper 26. Our next panelist is Dr. R.R. Deshmukh, sir. Dr. R.R. Deshmukh is the fellow presently working as a professor in Department of CSIT, Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Aurangabad, India. He is Principal Program Coordinator for the DST FIST program and department sanctioned by DST New Delhi. He is a University Coordinator for MHRD scheme on Global Initiative on Academic Network Program. He is the fellow member and worked as Chairman IETE Aurangabad Center Sciences from 2014 to 2018. Let me introduce our today's moderator also. Our today's moderator is none other than Professor Prashant R. Nair, sir. He is presently the chairman of IQAC of Amrita School of Engineering, Amrita Vishwavidyalayam, Coimbatore. He is having 20 plus years of academic research and administration experience in the university. He has served Amrita as IQAC chair, vice chair, and computer science engineering department vice chair for a decade. He has written 6 books and has 50 plus reported journal conferences publications. So with these words, I like to welcome first the Professor Prashant R. Nair, sir, to take over the charge from here for the panel discussion.
Thank you very much, Professor Rohit.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So, esteemed participants of this seminar, the president of today's program, my mentor in CSI, distinguished academician, Professor A.K. Nayak, who is an advisor to the IIBM group, former president and fellow of CSI, and presently member of the data management committee of ISO. The chief guest for today, Professor Dolly Sinha ma'am, Pro Vice Chancellor of Lalit Narayan Mithila University, Darbhanga, Bihar. My fellow panelists, Professor Vivakar Mansotra, Professor J.K. Mandal, Professor Deshmukh, and Professor Yadav. Professor Ganesh Pandey, Deputy Director of IIBM. Shweta Gaur ma'am, the Director of IIBM. dear faculty colleagues, participants and students. So it's a very exciting topic on digital transformation in higher education. So what we will do in the format of this is that I will first request the panelists to speak for around 8 minutes. We are a little running short of time, so I will request you each to talk for around 8 minutes. And after that, we will have one round of questions related to the topic, after which we can open it to the audience. So I thought I will give a quick perspective about the digital transformation. Even though I've been allotted 10 minutes, I thought I will just cover it, what I wanted to speak in 4 to 5 minutes. So today, as the honorable speakers before me, Dolly ma'am and Naik Saab have told about the fact about the digital transformation, none of us today have been not impacted in a very big way by this digital transformation. Digital transformation has impacted every single aspect of our life. And the COVID pandemic has only accelerated this, what should I say, this movement towards the digital transformation. The complete transformation has happened because of this COVID. It has accelerated this digital transformation. Now, even before the COVID pandemic, we have been seeing a steady movement towards digitization. Whichever industry we know, whether it is education, whether it is healthcare, whether it is logistics, manufacturing, there has been no sector that has not been impacted by digitization. Digitization has become a part of our life. In one European Union study, it was mentioning that 90% of all jobs today throughout the world, whatever be your job, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a software engineer, whether you are a professor, whether you are a scientist, whether you are a factory worker, whether you are a shop floor supervisor, 90% of the jobs today require some amount of digital skills. So we have to upskill ourselves. We have to digitally enable ourselves if we want to survive in the very competitive world that we are seeing today. And COVID pandemic has only accelerated that. We have seen a flight towards online education. In fact, higher education is probably one space that has not been so affected by the pandemic compared to other sectors. If you take the travel industry, the airplane industry, almost most airplane industries are filing for bankruptcy because they don't have money. Nobody is traveling. Many factories are broken, especially MSMEs, micro and small medium enterprises. Many of them are closed down. Somebody estimated that around 30% of MSMEs have closed during the pandemic period because there is no production. Workers are not able to come. To some extent, at least to a large extent, higher education has not been so much disrupted. We are able to conduct classes, we are able to do evaluations, we are able to conduct examinations, we are able to move ahead. Of course, there is a problem. Some people in rural areas are finding difficulty in terms of connectivity, which is a fact. But having said that, comparatively, education has not been so much disrupted by the pandemic, or the education has been able to come out largely because of the digital transformation. Now, if you ask me to set the tone for this panel discussion, how does digital transformation impact higher education? So I see it in 3 different buckets. That's what I would think. One, digital transformation is impacted the academic and the teaching learning processes. We have new platforms, new ways of delivery, new ways of evaluation, virtual labs, wikis, blogs, so many things that have helped us to continue the delivery of education to the students. Now, this is not only in higher education, even in the schools. See, we are all talking to each other. As Professor Nayak told, we are sitting in four, this webinar is a testament of national integration because of technology. We are all talking to each other all over the country, sitting from our places. Somebody is from north, somebody from west, somebody from northeast, somebody from south, somebody from east. Technology has made us all together. So that is one bucket I see, how digital transformation has affected the teaching learning process and the academic processes. The second bucket I see is digital transformation impacting research. Today, we are living in a collaborative world. How has research impacted? How has collaboration been impacted? In fact, that is what I would also be asking the distinguished panelists on, how we have been able to move forward in terms of improving research, improving collaboration, and increasing the outcomes. The third bucket, I would think, in terms of the transformation by digital is in administration. Academic administration. We are able to run our colleges and universities much more efficiently. Processes that have automated the administration process, whether it is giving a bona fide certificate to a student, whether it is printing the transcript of a student, whether it is giving a recommendation to a student who going for higher studies, and so on. So I would see that digital transformation has impacted in three different buckets. One is the academics, one is the research and collaboration, and one is the administrative processes. And with this perspective, I will call upon the eminent panelists, but I wanted to also stress upon this power of digital transformation that we have seen. And this is even before the pandemic. Today, interestingly, if you know which is the largest media company in this world, please think about it. The largest media company in the world, people may talk of different names, whether it is Star, whether it is American Online, whether it is Fox, whether it is Z. But the answer is not at all these. Largest media company in the world today is a company that each of us use, or rather 2.6 billion people use this media company called Facebook. There are 2.6 billion people on Facebook. 1 out of 3 people on this planet are on that platform called Facebook, which makes it the largest media company in the world. And very, very interestingly, or rather the irony is that Facebook does not create any content. This is the largest media company in the world. This has got 2.6 billion people, but they do not make any content. The content is created by you and me, by the Aam Aadmi, everybody who is on that platform. So see how the power of digital transformation. I'll give you another example. Which automobile company or car company has the largest number of cars with them? It's not General Motors, it is not Maruti, it is not Volkswagen, it is not Peugeot, it is not Suzuki. It is a company called Uber. Uber, at any point of time, there are more than almost 2.6 million cars that are using that are part of the Uber network. Every month, 70 million rides happen on Uber. And all of them are connected through one simple app on the phone. So, largest car company does not own any cars. They use somebody else's car. But that is the platform. The platform has aggregated this many number of cars seamlessly. I mean, you don't know the driver, you don't know which car it is, but using the app known as Uber, you are getting into that. You are taking a ride, you are going from one place to another, and so on. So this is the power of digital transformation, so as to speak. So with this introduction, I will request my first panelist, Professor Vibhakar Mansotra, to take the floor and give his thoughts, valuable thoughts. Sir, I will request you for around 8 minutes with respect to your introductory remarks. Over to you, Professor Vibhakar Mansotra.
Thank you, Professor Prashant, for giving me this opportunity to be here and express my views. At the outset, what the dignitaries of this webinar, Professor Dolly Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lalit Narayan, Mithila, University of Darbhanga, Professor A.K. Naik, my elder brother and guru as well, but advisor to Indian Institute of Business Management Group and former president and fellow Computer Society of India, as well the member Data Management Committee ISO, and the main organizer of this today's webinar, Professor J.K. Mandal, Kalyani University of West Bengal, my friend, colleague, and my fellow from the CSI, Professor R.R. Deshmukh, Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Maharashtra, Professor Subhash Chandra Yadav, Professor and Head, Central University of Jharkhand, Professor Prashant Nair, moderator of today's webinar, coordinators of this function, Professor Rohit Kumar, Professor C.N. Prasad, Professor Sweta Gahor, Professor Ganesh Panda, my dear dignitaries present in this webinar, students and other participants. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the organizers of this program, panel discussion, particularly Professor Naik and his team of the IIBM for organizing this wonderful session of having a discussion on digital transformation and higher education. When I think of digital transformation, I go back to 70s. I think digital transformation is not started today. It started somewhere in 70s when I remember my university. That was the time I was in, I think, some 7th, 8th class. But I used to hear that Jammu University is having a TDC 316 computer, 3rd generation computer. And once I visited Jammu, because I belong to a village, I visited Jammu and just curiosity to have a look at the computer. I entered the computer and saw a very big room, and I have to open my shoes outside the room and see the different parts of the computer. Then later, I did my MSc here in this university in physics. Madam Dolly Sinha, Madam, I have done my MPhil in crystal growth from the Department of Physics of the University of Jammu. So, this actually scenario of digital transformation started in 70s, and a formal education in this sector, postgraduate diploma in computer applications and MCA program, they started somewhere in 80s. And my university started PGDCA course, and I happened to be one of the students in the first batch in 1987. And if you look at this around 45 years of journey, I think the progress which digital transformation made during this 1 year span of time of the Corona period is matchless and could not make this kind of accelerated progress in the last around 40 years. So this one of the advantage which I look at the corona, only advantage of corona is that spread of digital transformation, digital awareness. Though it was already there, but the pace with which it developed, it progressed, that is only advantage are given, which may be given to this corona. So otherwise, corona has definitely impacted so much to all of us. Everybody knows it. When looking at the digital transformation with regard to the higher education, if you look at the digital transformation is not only in higher education. I think digital transformation has taken place in every sphere of life. As Professor Prashant Nair has very well told, every aspect of life has been touched by the digital transformation. So this transformation in higher education began years ago, but pandemic has played an important role in accelerating this. The digital transformation in education involved profound changes in teaching methodologies, essential competencies, assessment methods, and most educational institutions have recognized it. Today, it's a hard fact that COVID has suddenly and dramatically changed and transformed various ways of working, living, and relating to each other on the global level. So this has a massive impact on educational activities as well. In a very short span of time, this entire education system, from not only in higher education, from the elementary to higher education, had completely transformed its activities to evolve an online teaching learning scenario. As per UNESCO's report, during this 1 year of pandemic, all higher educations were almost completely closed in 185 countries in April 2020, which has affected more than 1,000 million learners around the globe. This sudden forced closure of face-to-face teaching has led academics and students into unfamiliar terrain due to the need to adapt swiftly to total e-learning settings. This sudden change has required universities and colleges to evolve toward online teaching in record time, implementing and adapting the technological resources available and involving teachers and researchers who lack inborn technological capability for online teaching. Higher education institutions are now compelled to strive to overcome this situation for the purpose of competitiveness and to provide high quality education in a scenario of digital transformation. Disruptive technological innovations and accelerated change is the need of the day. The university or the colleges systems must be able to provide quality education in this scenario of digital transformation and thus need an imperative change in educational framework. Digital transformation is revolutionizing the way business approach their operations, product, service offerings, marketing efforts, and every facet of their organization. Higher education is one of the biggest industry that is well positioned to derive considerable benefits from digital transformation. Universities and colleges now need to transform, have already, but there is still need to transform into virtual environment along with traditional learning, which means some sort of blended learning mode needs to be adopted. Because you cannot simply deface the face-to-face learning, because there is no match of face-to-face learning, but looking at the situation of the time, requirement of the time, some sort of blended learning has to be evolved. So the ultimate goal of digital transformation is to better serve customers and streamline business operations. But in higher education, customers are the students, and they have an immense amount of learning options to choose. You have private versus public institutions. You have online versus on-campus learning. You have full-time versus part-time learning. So with more options than ever before, the higher education institutions have to struggle to maintain a competitive edge. The era of being a traditional student is now on the declining side. It's becoming more common for a student to balance work, family, and college or university on day-to-day basis than to be on campus on full time with a sole focus on going to a class. That's where the digital transformation comes in. So some sort of virtual environment has or need to be created as per the requirement of the day. In this virtual scenario, universities have to evolve from a mostly lecture-based learning system towards problem-based learning. Methodologies that engage students more effectively need to be evolved. Transition from in-person to virtual education will have significant implications for the entire learning processes, but not only extensive modification or modifying methods for assessing learning outcomes, but also it requires reconsideration of the skills and competencies required for students in this new settings. To construct a well-designed all-learning experience, universities and colleges should develop digital learning methodologies and provide digital learning context, tools, and various support systems. So what is required is digital education, an appropriate infrastructure for digital education, and technological platform that can sustain the virtual workload, and methodological training of teachers and students as well for online delivering using the technical and educational resources which are available. The technological resources available provide options for teaching, such as giving lectures by video conferencing, sharing material, interacting through chats, creating debate forums or work groups, supervising practical activities, evaluating and tutoring students, recording explanations, making them available to students, etc. Using digital avenues like social media, websites, email marketing, and more to recruit and retain students. Measures to institutional success and make data-driven decisions is the need of the day. Institutions are, of course, working on this, but now there is a, now you can say, utmost requirement that digital libraries, so resources need to be created that can be made available online and more than a student at a time. There is a need to create mobile application to keep students updated on campus events, news, and more, and likewise so on. So because the requirement of every institution is different and the importance or the focus is depending upon the requirement of this institution, but certain primary goals of every institutions are enhance student experience. The focus on improving student services like retention and graduation rates, course success rates, and other markers that prove overall success. The next, improving competitiveness. The goal focuses on differentiating an institution from competition by using digital avenues. Creation of a culture and data-driven decision-making, which includes adapting a digital mindset across all areas of this campus for students, faculty, leadership, and other staff members. And above all, the optimization of all the resources is a very important factor which needs to be taken care of. So broadly, I think we need to focus on two things. As a higher education institution, we have services and we have operations. The services This transformation involves creating new products, changing existing ones, like starting certain online programs, migrating from using tangible textbooks to digital ebooks, etc. And operations need to go for processes completely digital, like applying for admission, registering for courses every semester, monitoring resources, allocation using modern technologies. So this, I think, is the basic and main points where we have to think of how higher education institutions should think and how we have to adopt, or we have adopted, but still we are lagging on many fronts. So we need to establish such kind of linkage between the administration and the digital transformation. With these words, I thank you once again for providing me an opportunity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Mansotra, for giving that perspective, especially breaking it down into services and operations, and also providing a nice historical perspective, which was rooted in your own experience. Thank you, sir. Now I will request my distinguished colleague, Professor J.K. Mandal, to enlighten us with his vast experience in computer science and education. Professor Mandal, sir?
Yeah. My voice is okay?
Yeah, you are very clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, respected chief guest, Professor Dolly Sinha, other panelists, Professor A.K. Nayak, my old friend, colleagues, philosopher, whatever, everything, I think. Prashant, my dearest, all other dignitaries, faculty members, organizers, students, and participants. So today's discussion on the digital transformation. So my previous honorable esteemed speaker was enlightened complete aspect of the digital transformations, how we could achieve and what are the lacuna, what directions we are moving and what are to be thought in a perspective in general. So I am talking about the perspective of research. Now, if I start, sir was starting from 1971-70. Sir, I think 1971, the networking was started in the arena from ARPANET. That means just in 1971, ARPANET started the defense research networking for their high-end machines. But at that time, it was a de facto standard. That means you purchase hardware, you purchase software, you integrate that only. Even from IBM to, I think, Sun, you cannot migrate. So that was the perspective. Then I think networking has developed gradually. And during the 90s, I think 93, 92, it was most exploded in terms of common technologist, not common man at the time, it's common technologist in terms of Windows Workgroup 3.11. When they started networking in Windows, then it was visible. Otherwise, it was just a novel network, proprietary, some system will be dedicated, something like that. And from there on, a good foreground, background processing and the seamless processing is going on. And let us think of the research at 90s. You see, in my case, I have gone to JNU for 1 month. I've stayed there because I know that they have almost more than 50 computer science journal. So I need the material from them. I have just taken a bulk of material as Xerox. They have that facility. Come to my university at North Bengal, and I have finished my research in 98, 99. Now, what is the state of the art now? You see that I am comparing the situation of the technology. When the pandemic started and the lockdown declared, ever we thought that I will download one paper from ACM, I'll download one paper from IEEE as a common man from my mobile, You see, during June particularly, I don't know how many of you have taken that advantage. Entire middle of June to middle of July, all publication houses made their access open for all of their good journals. And I have happily circulated that to each of my students, MTech students, MCA students, everywhere. I don't know how much of them have taken that advantage. What we could not do, that has been done in terms of the technology. And that is the transformation, exact transformation. And this pandemic situation, everyone, when we in the sitting home, we are scared about the disease, we are scared about our family member, we are very much feared about what to be done next day, what will happen tomorrow. At that time, we had some means to have some glimpse of my research, glimpse of your research, glimpse of their research. So that is the scenario. So at that time, at 90s, if we send an article to a good journal, you send by post, after 6 months, some review will come in a postcard or something like that. You again send, after 2.5 years, 3 years, you just will get the publicity of that. But what is now in terms of technology, that online first. That means every journal house is coming with a time limit that you submit the article, first comment within 20 days, 40 days, 60 days, something like that. And if it is accepted, then you see online first. Not less than 2.5 years we used to get the article published, but it is published online before going to the exact volume in the journal. So that is the advancement of the technology, what we are thinking. And you see that earlier all physical systems was there, you had to go to the library. So how many of us used to go to the library every day during my time of teaching in the day, lot of other works? How many of us read the journals physically in the library? Now the arena of e-journals has come. Every one of us subscribing the e-journals, and we are accessing that. Not only from the campus, you are in the campus is closed, you are in the online mode. We have web services of the network system. If it is permitted, if you have it implemented, then you can read the journal, you can download the journal from your web storehouse, from your library. I can do it. In my university, we have implemented that. That everyone of us, faculty member, teacher, all the research scholars, they can access the journals outside the campus through the online web-based access of the subscription what the university has taken. So that is the transformation of the technology, and technology is coming to your home. You are not going to the library. Your library is coming to your home. You see, in the evening, I can get time to read some journal. I can get time to read some articles. But earlier, I had to go to JNU for my required journal. Now I have to go to my university for e-journals. But now web-based access or web-based proxies are able to bring the technology at your home with your small handheld devices. So this is the scenario of the change of your path. And now the digital library. Lot of digital libraries and open access are there. Even a lot of controversial access are there. That means Sci-Hub. A lot of people are downloading the papers who could not download the papers. Though there is an international controversy on that, still it is giving access to you. When the publication house is publishing, sending you a link, and along with that link, you have icons of Facebook, icons of Twitter, icons of your LinkedIn. You share it. Just day before yesterday, one article has been published in Elsevier in Biosystems. I have shared this, to all this social media. This social media is another storehouse and of the information explosion regarding the research. So if I shared it to my Facebook, in my LinkedIn, all of the communities, they are getting at that moment, they are downloading that. Was it possible prior to this technology evolution? No. It is for the digital transformation, transforming every one of us towards a global view of everything within a very minimal stipulated time. And secondly, you see that you have a lot of archives, xarchive.com. When you are sending a paper, you are putting that paper in the archive and you are referring that my paper is already in the archive. Earlier, you send the paper, hard copy, you don't know who is taking, who is seeing that papers and who is copying that paper. Now we have the plagiarism softwares online at home. You can do it. If your university has the access, you can do it. You can check it. You can paraphrase it. You can have a good standard of the things. So enormous archives and the availability through the difference of the technology, through amendment of the technology, advancements of the technology. You see that the mission for this national education policy is the mission Nalanda and mission Taksasila. Dr. Naik, you are just fortunate enough that you are very close vicinity of Nalanda. I could not see it again. Love to see it at earliest. That means our government has already set up the goal, mission Nalanda, mission Taksasila. What was ancient days, that we are also trying to achieve now. And also the new education policy, it is the construction of the NRF, National Research Foundation, which will be set up through an act of parliament as an autonomous body of Government of India with annual grant of 20,000 crores, which is 0.1% of the GDP for science, technology, social science, and other research. And the language research in terms of technology, that is also possible. When you are moving from Odisha to Bihar, Odisha to West Bengal to Bihar, you are changing enormously in terms of the vocabulary. Same word is being uttered or just articulated in different ways. Can you go for a strong database and change of the scenario, how it's changing, and have a model of that, which is the main motto of our national educational policy of the research. Now, some tools also are available for you. These are all online tools. You can download it, you can do it, you can do all in on the online. One of such tool is called the referencing tool. What is referencing tool? You see, when you are writing an article for your research paper, you see, you are giving the reference 1, then writing the reference 1 at the lower in the reference section. Again, reference 2 somewhere. So you have taken 20 references. Complete references you have written. Then if you need to change, again you are changing manually. That is an enormous task. But if you go to the reference management tool nowadays, what is the open source access, you can see it. It is called the Jotero. You just have 2000 format of any format. Suppose I am preparing my paper in Elsevier format, but tomorrow paper has rejected. But I need to put the paper in the IEEE format. You just change the format. Just click on that format, use that format, it will be automatically changed from MS Word even if you use the Jotero. And the references, you just go to the web, Scholar search, Google Scholar search, and you just download it, reference it, click it, it will be automatically referred, and your bibliography will be automatically just entered at end of your research article. If you change, it will be automatically changed. This is one reference management tool for the research community. That is only the transformation of the technology brings us with the aid of internet technology. Then another thing is that, suppose I have thousands of research papers. So which paper is good for me? Which paper is just properly fitted for my goal of research? It is very difficult. I can download 1000 paper, 100 paper. I can read the paper, 20 pages, 15 pages each. But there is another tool that is called the scholarship. It is once again technology advancement towards the proper direction of your research. You just search the article, extend your Chrome extension with scholarship by downloading it, and you just click on the scholarship article by downloading it, clicking it. Your summary will be there in terms of keywords, in terms of abstract, in terms of other references. And there it will show which references are open, which references are closed. You download it. Now, this is the advancement, and this is the technology transformation which enable our research in enormous forward direction. If I wish, I can do it. And that is the digital transformation, what is going on and we are achieving. But you have to be careful about the fake information. Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Mandal. I think, we can understand that research is becoming social. I think that's the moral of the story. Research is becoming more and more social, in the perspective. And thanks for those insights. May I request Professor Ratnadeep Deshmukh also to pen his viewpoints and ideas for this panel discussion. Professor Deshmukh?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think you have shared a screen, sir.
Yeah. So I will like to present some PPTs also along with my presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see the screen, sir. Now it is a Zoom screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it now. Yeah.
So, good afternoon, friends. I welcome all the august audience to this seminar on or webinar on digital transformation and higher education, organized by IITM Patna. So, chief guest of this today's webinar, Professor Dolly Sinha, who is a Honorable Vice Chancellor of Lalit Narayan University, Bihar, along with the panelist of this today's session, that is discussion panel, my friend Professor Mansotra, again another panelist from the Kalyani University, Professor J.K. Mandal, Professor S.C. Yadav from Central University of Jharkhand, my mentor, Professor A.K. Naik, mentor and president of this program, along with the organizers, Dr. Shweta Gaur and Rohit Kumar and Professor Pandey and friends. So friends, I would like to, I will try to finish my this presentation and thoughts within the time, but again some more time may be required. Anyway, so I think moderator, my friend Prashant, will bear with me. Okay. So,
sir, you can put it in full screen, sir. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, friends, as we know, due to this digital transformation or advancement or advent in ICT, everybody's mankind life has been affected, or it is getting improved. And here, everybody is making use of this ICT services, along with the taking the advantages in different sectors of these advantages of ICT, means the digital operations and digital transformation. And due to all this digital transformation in overall major sectors of our life, we are getting smarter services and ease of good life or good things And it is all about because of the digital transformation, and every sophisticated service which is backed by or backbone of every service is nothing but it is ICT and digital transformation. So friends, it's as our Prime Minister has declared, there is a 100 cities as smart cities, and we are marching ahead on this. And all these smart services in the smart cities are backed or are being made available by taking advantage of the digital transformation as well as advancement in ICT, along with what we are facing today, that is this pandemic or corona, and we are successfully or we are defeating corona in a successful way. And as our Prime Minister Modi says, and its crisis is, I believe, one that carries message that we have to move forward not just to combat crisis but prevail. That can happen when a local production helped us in this crisis, and when you look the several global brands, they began the local but were marked and raised to global levels. And in same line, we have to do same with our produce, that is product, and we need to be vocal about the local along with the digital transformation. Okay. So friends, I will be touching some of the major areas where we are getting better services in major areas, and which are affecting social life or overall life of mankind or human being, along with the transformation or effect of this digital transformation on education system also. Okay, so here uh, basic thing on the basis of this digital transformation or ICT, our Prime Minister Modi has declared the program that is Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is having a 5 pillars, that is a demographic, youth-centric, vibrant demography, our systems, demand, infrastructure, and sustainable economy. Along with, so here from some ventures has been announced or being initiated, that is Make in India to make for the world, in which it is focused to encourage local capacity building along with promoting startups and entrepreneurship, increasing value addition in India, and bringing down the import, and that is import bill by producing and adopting a quality local products. Okay. So, while thinking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India, we will focus some major areas where we are doing excellent or better. That is in pharma world, India was non-existing in the year 1970s, but today India's contribution is more than 20% to the global generic market. So this is the scenario in between 1970 to 2020. And India has demonstrated that it can execute large scale and turn around, becoming self-reliant and making mark on a global economy where India's share of vaccines is 60, that is supplied to other countries in the world is 60%, and Indian products contribution in US is 40%, in UK is 25%, and contribution to UNICEF is 30% or more than 30%. Along with that, government-owned application is being posed as a primary contact tracing tool in India. That is the Arogya Setu, where the tagline is "Mai Surakshit, Hum Surakshit, Bharat Surakshit." So this is the topmost app developed and being implemented in India. Within 4 months of launch, more than 150 million registered participants or persons has been registered in this one, and this is the most downloaded contact tracing app in the world and top downloaded app, that is app in the health and fitness, that is category since the launch. Okay. Again, here are some quotes, but I will not go. Only one quote I will read, which is made by Bill Gates. That is, I am glad that the government of Indian government is fully utilizing the exceptional digital capabilities in its COVID-19 responses and has launched the Arogya Seva Setu digital app for corona virus tracing, contact tracing, and to connect people to the health services. Okay. So, enabling digitization through the revolution, where these are the key enabler sectors or key enablers for self-reliant India. These are the major sectors, that is finance services, healthcare, commerce, education, agriculture, smart city, mm, and manufacturing and hospitality. So here, as we know, that is the present ban on 224 Chinese apps. That is the great opportunity for Indians to develop indigenous apps that are relevant from an Indian context. And Indian government recently added drone and robotics and electric vehicle components in the Atmanirbhar plan. Okay, so Atmanar, that is another venture and major area of the focus, where the more than 60 to 70 population of India is dependent. That is Atmanirbhar Krishi. Again, there are different ventures in the Atmanirbhar Krishi for promoting integrated farming along with the Atmanirbhar Krishi and Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay. Again, in agriculture, that is we are opting for the smart farming by introducing sensing technologies along with software applications and communication systems, telematic positioning technologies along with hardware and software and data analysis solution. Okay. Along with these are the some of the Indian startups transforming agriculture to advancement and due to digital transformation like AgroStar, NinjaCart, EBM, and Proform and EVS, which are benefiting overall all agriculture services and providing smart services to agriculture sectors. Again, these are the some ventures, that is particulars regarding the future farming, where that is drones will be used for survey or agri-boat fleets and farming data or texting cows or tracing using making use of sensors for tracing the animal health and providing services along with the smart tractors for smart farming. Okay. So again, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat on the, that is Swachhata or smart city or smart health. These are the various ventures in the smart health area. I will not go in details due to constraint of time. Again, that is National Digital Health Mission for supporting the smart health services in the India. And these are the some of the apps and these things provided or created in the India, that is Proacto, that is Mera Patient, Onwar Health, and some dry case. Okay. Along with that, here I would like to quote that we have made a history within the world to have a first heart surgery in the state of Gujarat by Dr. Patel using Geo band 100 Mbps internet connection. Okay. Along with that, Atmanirbhar Shiksha. Here we are coming to the that is primary, starting from primary education to the higher education. Impact of this digital transformation uh, due to this that is, advancement in ICT. So friends, As we know, that is, we have opted for the new education policy in the year 2020, where the India is moving towards a true knowledge society along with a sustainable economy and preparing for forthcoming fourth industry revolution along with the which will provide the increased employment opportunities and more skilled jobs of creating multidisciplinary nature and the education system be ready to increase the GR with proper support. Okay, so we are contributing much more as compared to that is world scenario and world surveys in due to this pandemic situation. This is the scenario of education technology solutions created and provided within that is worldwide scenario. This is the so here you can check that is this Byju's along with this UN Academy and this Vedantu. These are the major contributors from the service providers in the online education concept, which is essential or due to which, as our earlier panelist, Professor Mansotra and Professor Naik focus it on overall development, historical development in the that is digital transformation, and Professor Mansotra had focus on the digital transformation effects on the higher education, whereas Professor Mandal has uh, contributed or focused on the change in the research publications or research activities along with the collaboration. Okay, so here we are leading along with that is there are so many education technology use cases where the concept of the classroom set of devices or redesign learning spaces, artificial that is AI, personalized learning along with gamification and augmented reality and virtual reality mixed platforms are made being available. Okay. So we are moving to a virtual class helping schools and colleges to ensure learning is not interrupted due to this COVID or due to this pandemic and whatever matters. And penetration into that is Bharat that is gained ground beyond the India's top 10 cities. Or here we can say that there is overall those who are not metro cities also, they are also coming up with that is uh, some good edutech that is startups including Bhopal, Kochi, that is Surat, Chandigarh and Ahmedabad and secured filling in H1 2020. That is lever, that is learning doesn't or never stops. This is the overall scenario of online teaching learning process. Okay. So again, uh, as per the new education policy, there is a focus or priority is given, or it is recommended to have a use of either is ICTR and digital transformation or digital services for the education planning, along with the teaching, learning, and assessment process, along with the administration and management support, and self-disclosure and minimum human interface, along with increasing in access for disadvantaged group services to be provided uh, at the remote places, Divyang friendly education softwares, along with e-content in regional language, creation and promotion of virtual labs. National Educational Technology Forum is supporting for this and digitally equipping schools, teachers, and students at the education uh, institutes of organizations. So, as we know that earlier there was no any sort of online course of concept at the UGC level as a mandatory. It was optional in the form of MOOC courses as well as SWAYAM courses, which were recommended by UGC and HRDC ministry. But now, uh, that is on the lines of this new education policy and this pandemic situation, UGC has been initiated that every university has to opt for at least 40% of the courses as like online courses, and this is possible due to only the digital transformation and advancement in ICT. So again, there are so many ventures regarding to Atmanirbhar commerce, where these are the various apps for different sectors which are being developed or started by Indians itself for groceries, fashion, food tech, furniture, medicine, or and there is travel. And it is expected to have size of e-commerce in India uh, more that is more than 2000, that is 200 US billion up to 2026. Okay. Along with the Atmanirbhar city, which is the part of smart city, where uh, uh, overall all the services, that is smart services, will be uh, being provided or will be being initiated with the along with that is indicating to the healthcare, public security, electricity utility, water utility, waste management, citizen service, or sustainable development. Okay. And government is also initiating a different ventures. Also, central government and state governments are having their mission made projects as like that is Aadhaar, DigiLocker, or Janadhana, or Mudra loans, and so on. And all these projects are backed by a digital transportation of ICT. Okay. So here we can see that 40 crores accounts are open under Jan Dhan scheme, along with 1.3 lakh crores amount is deposited in Jan Dhan bank accounts, along with more than 50% holders of Jan Dhan accounts are women, and accounts received by that is 20 crores of women Jan Dhan accounts holders under this COVID relief package. Okay. So again, there are so many there is provisions under the scheme. So along with this, we have to think that is innovation need to be utilized in with responsibility. So we are marching ahead. The world is marching ahead related to nuclear energy. Again, we have to think where it is to be used, or we should be cautious. Along with the transportation of vehicles, that is the pollution out of that. That is how to use, at what extent to use, and that is how to take the advancement or innovation in the technology and development. We have to think along with the electronic gadgets, access to kids, how much, when, and that is where. Okay. So with this, I would like to thank the organizers to have interaction or to have a presentation here. Over to Dr. Prashant. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. You can stop sharing, sir.
Yeah. Sorry, I think I have exceeded time, but
it's fine. Yeah, thank you, sir. I think we got the pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat, and one key takeaway is, especially with respect to the startups, we got a very good idea about the startups in various spaces. I mean, today we have seen, I think in 2020, maximum number of startup unicorns have come in from India all over the world. A unicorn is a $1 billion company valuation, and I think India is now having 50 unicorns, and out of that, more than 25 have come in 2020 during the pandemic period. It's a great thing for India that we are moving forward, becoming a knowledge superpower in the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. I call upon my last panelist, Professor Yadav, to pen his thoughts. Professor Yadav.
Thank you, Professor Prashant Nair, moderator of this very mega event. Very good morning and Johar to all of you. It's my proud privilege to be a part of this very auspicious one-day national webinar that is on a very relevant topic in today's scenario, digital transformation and higher education. While the academia is fighting with a gigantic educational crisis, organized by IIBM Patna in technical collaboration with Computer Society of India, particularly Patna chapter, I express my sincere gratitude from my core effort, chief guest of this webinar, Professor Dolly Sinha ji, Pro Vice Chancellor, Alan Mishra University, Darbhanga, a very dynamic and iron lady of Mid Bihar. She is very true academician. For the last 15 years, has been seen and observed. And we are expecting and very eagerly waiting for some new assignment has to be given by the government as a Vice Chancellor to the ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for being with us in this virtual presence. Also, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to Professor A.K. Naik, sir, our mentor or guide, immediate past President, Computer Society of India. Professor Naik is a man with ground reality. And he has always been deeply involved in prachar, prasar of computer literacy in the country, particularly in states where the education literacy, computer literacy rate is very low, like Bihar and Jharkhand. I think more than 35 years Naik sir has served the Computer Society by holding various posts in national and at international platform as well. As a part of his zeal to serve the society, last year sir had started computer awareness program for tribal children residing in villages nearby this capital city of Jharkhand, Ranchi. I am witness of that. And I was also part of that. Now sir has become the man of seminar. He has organized more than thousands of webinars on different topics to just spread of the knowledge during this pandemic tenure, while whole of the world has been just stuck to their homes. Thank you, sir, again for inviting me and providing me the opportunity.
Okay. Thank you, Subhash. May all the best wishes with you. May
Thank
God
you, sir.
bless
Thank
you to do the excellence.
I welcome my CSI colleague in National EXCOM members also, Professor R.R. Deshmukh sir, Professor Vibhakar ji, Professor J.K. Mandal sir, Professor and veteran of CSI Subimal Kundu for his kind presence in this webinar. I also express my sincere thanks to the convener, Professor Sweta Gaur, a very young and dynamic director of IIBM Group. Convener, Dr. C.N. Prasad ji, Professor Ganesh Pandey ji, Deputy Director. Even we can not forget the man behind the curtain, the coordinator of this event, Professor Rohit Kumar, who is handling all the technical aspects, who is dealing all the technical aspects of this related with this webinar. Dear participants, dear delegates, my dear friends, as we are running short of time, so I will take not more than 6 to 7 minutes to conclude my talk. Dear friends, what has happened? Whole the global education scenario is really facing potentially one of the paramount threat in human existence. And according to the report, since March 2020, due to this COVID pandemic, has been kept worldwide 1.7 billion enrolled students out of their schools, which is almost 80% from 162 countries. And surprisingly, during this lockdown period, education has been automatically shifted to a default online. For the time being, other activities like conference, seminar, workshop, symposium have already been cancelled or they are turned into the series of webinar. The certain shift towards online was being observed with a very short span of time, you can say. And what was the result? It has accelerated a new form of pedagogy. And you can say a remarkable initiative from individual academicians and from the institutions. It has been immersed, a new form of pedagogy. My dear friends, as Professor Vibhakar Mansotra has told, the disruptive impact of this COVID-19 and the availability of digital technologies that can support this online learning present an unprecedented opportunity for whole the transformation of this higher education at the global level. At this transition to online learning was hasty and forced by circumstances. However, the various actors in the learning process, like students, professors, universities, they have encountered several barriers while adopting these new settings, this new pedagogy. Now, what is happening? It is important that university must be aware of these barriers and the digitalization of learning processes and offering a specific technical training to the person, to the peoples get involved at the both end, whether it's students, whether it's a teacher. And I think in recent years, many schools and colleges have introduced technology-enabled learning system in their curriculum as well. And this blackboard learning, which was earlier in existence, have been given way to smartboard, to the e-books, and they have just replaced the textbooks. And the more benefit has been given to the publishing houses. And they're also coming forward to develop technology-driven curriculum. They are assisting the university system. They are assisting the school system. They are assisting the school boards, existing different boards in different universities. And such collaborative platforms are gaining popularity among educationists as it puts learners in more and more interactive learning environment, impacting teaching outcomes. As already Professor Desmukh has already mentioned, the impact of technology in education very widely. In fact, what is happening, friends? Entirely new, and you can say a fully technology-driven education scenario has been immersed as an online education. You can say e-learning, you can say m-learning, you can say virtual classroom, and even you can say the blended learning, etc., etc. What is happening there? The education is taking place over the internet for both the learners and the teaching processes. Before, what was earlier there, before prior to evaluation of this e-learning education system, over 2000 years of human civilization, there were three ways of pedagogy. The number one was Gurukul system. It has been immersed in the concept of one master being involved in a teaching process with some of the peoples in ashram. And what was the second way? Our university system, where our traditional teaching process is being evolved and it get modified, one teacher and many learners at a time, means classroom teaching. And the third way, it has emerged as a distance learning across the globe, where one learner are passively involved with one master, sitting in drawing room, sitting in bedroom, and sitting in the below the trees and villages and the anywhere the place in the mall, anywhere. As a result, As I've already mentioned, this education during the lockdown periods has automatically shifted to the default online mode. And it has been observed that there is a paradigm shift in pedagogy from traditional to online mode. Distance mode was earlier the part of this e-learning, m-learning, virtual, blended learning. All these are the part of that distance learning. If we will talk about the Indian higher education scenario at present through the online mode, right now 26.3% there is a gross enrollment ratio, and which is expected to increase up to 40% of the total student populations of the country by the year 2023. It means the country and the society is in the mode to adopt this new pedagogy, that is online or blended learning. With these few words, I hope this webinar will definitely be able to address all the issues and challenges related with digital transformation and the higher education of India. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to Prashant ji.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor Yadav. We got a good perspective from you. Actually, the organizers have been informing that we are a little short of time. So what I will do is some questions have already come. So I will request each of the panelists to give their views on these questions that have come. So one issue that we are seeing today is, the rural folks are finding it very difficult, especially with the onset of online education. We are seeing the people in rural areas really suffering with because of connectivity. So can you suggest some solutions in terms of how to address this digital divide? I will request each of the panelists to give their thoughts for a couple of minutes. I'll start with you, Professor Yadav. Can you give some suggestions on how to bridge this digital divide?
It's the very burning question, Prashant. The India government has taken initiative, Digital India campaign. In that they have mentioned the pillars they have to connect the Gram Panchayat and all the related aspects. Because in urban area, most of the parents are well equipped, they have a smartphone to carry out the education. But what is happening in the rural areas? Due to lack of infrastructure, we are not able to import the online education. So I will suggest that we must lay down the infrastructure, digital infrastructure and devices, and we must include in some curriculum. Even if you will see our national education policy in chapter 23 and chapter 24, it has already been mentioned. It must be the task for the government to lay down the infrastructure and to use artificial intelligence, neural network, and machine learning to be embedded in our curriculum. The biggest threat for our villagers is this, to provide appropriate infrastructure. So the basic backbone of the internet we can provide. Then some equipments, smartphone devices, electronic gadgets must be provided to them to carry on this online education. Over to you, Prashantji.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Professor Deshmukh, would you also like to add your suggestions on this, bridging this digital divide?
Yeah, Prashant, this is a very good question and burning issue question that we are now discussing and going on with, that is continuing on the online teaching learning process all over the globe and even in our country. But if we think really, I think merely as per my experience and overall knowledge, merely 25 to 30% students are the part of this online teaching learning process. And these remote places and rural students are not connected with this system well due to lack of infrastructure, as Professor Subhash said, and due to the ability to create this infrastructure, provide infrastructure for their pupil. So on this ground, I would like to suggest that is there should be a central government as well as state government policy, as like there are various schemes for the economically weakened students, SC, ST students. So for this online teaching learning process, the provision has to be made, that is to provide at least tablet or infrastructure to needy students, those who cannot embrace these services on their own. And then and again this communication, the network issues are to be resolved or are to be that is well planned and well spread, so as to make a major or maximum number of pupils or students to be a real part of this that is online teaching learning process. So this can might be, or this can be one of the solutions, but these things has to be done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it also covered, many are finding it difficult. There was a question on writing exams also, online exams also, you need bandwidth, which you actually cover. Professor Mandal Saab, what do you think on bridging this digital divide? Sir, you are mute, sir. Dr. Mandal,
please unmute, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So gradually we are just enhancing in terms of speed, accessibility and other. Still, actually, you see the government of India has taken a decision that up to the village level, panchayat level, you see that there is at least one communication tower in terms of BSNL. I think more than that, all of the private sectors are also coming, Vodafone or other Airtel, they are also coming up that tier. So now I can see that particularly this dissemination through the edge devices is much more penetrating and being penetrated towards the rural. So if some governments may take a policies to just reduce this digital divide, then I think it will be, better to cope up with the situation. Some governments has already taken, particularly in our cases, I think for the students of class 9 and 11, these are provided. Amount has been transferred to their account. So that means those who are weaker section. So we have to uplift them, not by teaching them that you do, your family should do, not like that. We have to assist them and encourage them to bring the divide nearer to a common line where I think everyone can get access of that. That is my submission.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Professor Mansotra, your views on bridging this digital divide?
Yes, thank you, Prashantji. I think if I go back to say 10, 20 years, Government of India opened common service centers in almost all rural villages. But the bad part of the story is that majority of the common service centers are either closed or they are not functioning up to the satisfaction. The reason, to my understanding, is first, electricity is the biggest issue. Number one. Number two, the infrastructure, as my friends have already told, infrastructure, but infrastructure is not that big issue. Maintenance of the infrastructure is a big issue. Once the infrastructure is established in a place, then after say 1 or 2 years, you need hard maintenance of that infrastructure equipment, which is not provided in mostly of the rural areas. Then the connectivity is very poor. Though connectivity is there, but it is very poor. You can say connected of the network maybe up very frequently within say 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So whenever there is a frequent disruption in your connectivity, naturally things will not move in the required way. Then Another big factor is a human resource. Government establishes the centers, establishes infrastructure, establishes buildings, but don't appoint people. Employees are very important part of any organization. You cannot say that infrastructure will work on its own. Infrastructure has to be maintained, has to be operated, services have to be provided. Who is going to provide? So the people, the employees should be put into place, those who provide service to the rural areas. And very, you can say, disgusting thing is, in common service centers, which I told, majority of the people have left because they were appointed only on ad hoc contractual basis. They have left the, you can say, job. So these are the 3-4 issues, I think, where government must concentrate and must address these issues. And then awareness, of course, is another point where we have to do. Thank you, sir. Prashantji.
Sir, yes. In addition to that, whatever the Mansotra sir has told, electricity maintenance and technical skill manpower, actually what is happening there, the employment process of the government is so delayed process. And we, the institutions, we, the universities, we, the organizations, we, the society must take a lead. Actually, under the mentorship of Professor Naik sir, one of the biggest milestone we have established during last year pandemic in Ranchi city, from the study center up to 45 kilometers in villages, with help of my department, Central University and Computer Society of India, Ranchi. And we have gone there with our equipments, with internet, with computers, with a projector. And we have made the students of villages up to 10th and 12th standard somewhat be literate in the computer. So such type of works we must do for the welfare, well-being of the society. We must take a lead apart from the government. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I see the president of today's program, Professor Naik, is also there. With your permission of the panelists, I also would request for some inputs from Professor A.K. Naik, especially, sir, with respect to government initiatives. You know, today we are talking about digital transformation, and you are so well connected in various government committees and all. Sir, can you also give some thoughts on how the government initiatives should pan out with respect to digital transformation, as also how to bridge this digital divide, sir? Naik, sir? Naik, sir?
He has joined, yeah. But I think
he's there. I can see him. I see him.
Yeah, Naik sir is there, but I think there is a network congestion from Naik sir side. Let me check, sir.
Yeah, no, he's there. I can see him. That's why
I think there is a need to address digital divides.
You're able to see that also.
Digital divide.
Digital divide.
Yeah, bandwidth issues and so on.
Sir, we are waiting for you. I am talking with Professor Naik, sir. Network problem is there.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
Sir, so with your permission, we can proceed further. Yeah, please, Rohit ji.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Please proceed.
Sir, I request Prashant Naik sir to please open the session, the open public question answer round, sir.
Yeah, there is one. I saw one question from one of the panelists, one of the participants. I could only see one more question. That how can edtech companies, educational technology companies, edtech companies, and universities work together? So I will request the distinguished panelists to give their views on that. You know, how close collaboration can be there between, you know, edtech companies, you know, Byju's, Upgrad. I mean, what do you see models of collaboration? I'll start with Professor Mansotra. What do you think, sir?
Yeah. See, I think, yes, there must be a good collaboration. But the problem is that these companies are profit-making companies.
Correct.
And universities or colleges, they are not profit-making institutions. But still, to be to address the various needs of the society and to contribute to the society, the industry and the institutions, academic institutions, must come closer in terms of what is the need of the day, how the syllabi should be framed, what kind of syllabus should be imposed and you can say updated so that the latest in needs of the industry, because ultimately the employment has to be addressed by the industries. If you look at the government level, government is not working much on the, you can say, employment issue. So it is the industry which will have to take on the bigger part as far as employment is concerned. So the institutions, educational institutions and the industry should also support the educational institutions, and educational institutions must see that the feedback from the industry, that how the industry can participate, can help, can address various academic institutions. And this kind of, I think, collaboration, because in my university, we have a board of studies in every subject. And now we have included one member from the industry to be part of the board of studies, so that he can let us know what is the latest requirement of the industry, and accordingly we can update our course structure and this syllabus.
So any other models, Professor Mandal, on how to engage with industry other than what was taught?
Yeah, thank you, Prasant. In addition to Professor Mansutra, I am also adding something that in the board of studies, we also normally keep the industry people so that we can get a feedback and regular interaction with them with some in terms of some lectures. Also, you see that we have included one industry people in our IQSC cell, so that the quality of educations and others can be in a lot of other aspects can be enhanced, and we can take the thought from the industry. So that can be done. And another thing is that you see that when we are going for collaborative, lot of cases we are going for collaborative in terms of the activities. Particularly, you see that ERP solutions and others. Every one of us, most of the universities are collaborating nowadays because they cannot develop all the softwares with their own. But I think the industry should come down in because you see that nowadays everything is on the cloud-based systems. And what the industries are doing, that you see that when you are developing something, so it is developed on the cloud base and the proprietary from that particular company, and they are disseminating from the cloud only. And you see, you never develop with your own, and you never get it for the future use if you just close the collaboration or the contact with the that particular company. So that is one major important factor. And second thing is that it is one alarming also. You see, suppose I am just talking about the grievance redressal softwares. I think you know, person that AICT has given a mandate that you have to use the grievance redressal software in terms of the online. But what normally we have seen that what my perception that you see all of the grievance redressal softwares, all the that the database part and that storage webs, these are in the cloud, and this is in the part of that particular company who is disseminating that, but nothing is with the university. That is one alarming areas that either they have to supply, but if they supply, then even copy will be there. So if there is a data breach, there is an information breach, so that university may be in trouble. That is my perception as a technologist. So that should be minimized in some way, and government should come out with a perfect policy for this particular web-based dissemination. Otherwise, I think after 5 years or so, I think we'll cope up a lot of troubles. Now we are integrating, so I don't have any problem. But when we shall disintegrate after 1 year or after 5 years, that this company is not good, they are doing some bad things. So university by institutions may take the decisions. In that case, lot of problems may cope up. That is my perception.
Yeah, Professor Deshmukh.
Yeah. So in this context, I totally agree with the Professor Mansutra, what he has said that regarding the collaboration or joint venture in between profit-making companies and the universities or these educational organizations. That is not a fruitful solution. But in this respect, I would like to mention that our Government of India, HRDC, or Human Resource Development Ministry, has initiated so many online courses. What I have earlier also mentioned, there is MOOC courses as well as SWAYAM courses. So many courses has been developed and had been made available. But as we see overall in scenario, the universities or colleges are not going to prefer for these online courses, and reasons for these are so many reasons, including the infrastructure, but again the requirement of teacher or teaching workload. There are so many these issues also, which may be opposed by teacher unions. Workload may be minimized and all these things. But definitely our Government of India is working on that line, that is producing MOOC courses as well as SWAYAM courses and making them available. Along with that, I would like to share that as I am the coordinator for the GAN program, government is recommending or insisting to convert this GAN program courses conducted in the MOOC courses, and they are providing more incentives for that. So if this thing is being that is accelerated, that is collaborative, or government can support or build the system. As the Professor Mandal said that regarding exam also and overall all the teaching scenario, government has to think on the lines what the nature has shown during last year due to this COVID. And so everything has to be think or in different angle and different lines, and the solutions are to be found out to give the services to the society and the students. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Professor Yadav, would you like to also add?
Yes, Prashant ji. In addition to the whatever our fellow elder Professor Malhotra sir, Mandal sir, and Ratandeep Deshmukh sir told, I would like to add only one thing. Ki government or we the university or private government sector, we must try to establish industry academia interface. If we will, that will be get established, whether in the form of partnership, whether in the form of collaboration, whether in the form of sharing of idea. What will happen? We will able to design a new curriculum for our students, which is currently in demand in the industry, and we will able to establish new laboratories, lab infrastructure, whatever the latest technologies and IT is going on, that we can impart in our educational system, that our students can use that. Even one more thing we can do, we can have a program skill interchange. जैसे कि अभी रतनदीप सर ने कहा कि नहीं सॉरी प्रोफेसर मनसोत्रा सर ने कहा कि वी आर इंक्लूडिंग some IT experts in our board of studies. Yes, that is good exercise. We must think on that. Sort of we should make interface between academia and industry. Yeah. That is my view. Over to you, Prashant.
Yeah, thank you. I think we covered almost all the questions. I was going through the questions. Almost everything has been covered. I think it has been an excellent panel discussion. Of course, the organizers say that we have shot ahead of time. Over to Professor Rohit Kumar.
Thank you so much, sir.
For continuing, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And it was really a wonderful and informative panel discussion by all of the dignitaries, sir. So now we will move towards the last session, and it's a time for vote of thanks. And for that, I would like to welcome Professor Ganesh Pandey, sir, the Deputy Director of Indian Institute of Business Management, Patna.
Thank you, Rohit. Honorable President of the National Webinar, my guru, my mentor, Professor A.K. Naik, Advisor IIBM Group, former President and Fellow CSI, and Member Data Management Committee ISO. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Dolly Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Mithila University, Darbhanga. Honorable Moderator, Professor Prashant R. Nair, Chairman IAQC, Amrita Vidyapeetham University, Tamil Nadu. Honorable Professor Vibhakar Mansotra, Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, University of Jammu and Kashmir. Honorable J.K. Mandal, sir, Professor, Department of Computer Science and Technology, Kalyani University, West Bengal. Honorable Professor R.R. Deshmukh, Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, Dr. Bhim Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Maharashtra. Honorable Professor S.C. Yadav, Professor and a Head, Department of Computer Science, Central University of Jharkhand. Honorable Sweta Gaur, Director, IIBM Patna. Honorable Kundu Da and Mr. Senthil Kumar from CSI. Dr. C.N. Prasad, Chairman, CSI Patna Chapter. The staff and faculty member of IIBM and dear participant of one-day national webinar. It is my privilege to express my sincere gratitude and present my vote of thanks for the Honorable President of the function, my Guru, my mentor, Professor A.K. Nayak, who has been instrumental for conducting near about 600 number of webinar under the banner of CSI and IIBM at different locations of the country. Sir, on behalf of the IIBM Management Committee and a student community, we express our sincere thanks for delivering the presidential address on this occasion. I am also equally thankful to Dr. Dolly Sinha, Pro Vice Chancellor, Lalit and Mithila University, Darbhanga, for their gracious presence and addressing with their valuable words in the webinar. Thank you very much, ma'am. My special thanks goes to moderator Professor Prashant R. Nair, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham University, Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much, sir, for joining the event. My special thanks goes to panelist Professor Vibhakar Mansotra, Professor, Department of Computer Science and IT, University of Jammu, Dr. R.R. Deshmukh, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Maharashtra, for delivering the address and closely association with the Professor A.K. Nayak in conducting so many webinars. Thank you very much, sir, for joining the event and addressing with their valuable words in this webinar. My expression of vote of thanks from the core of my heart to panelist Professor J.K. Mandal, Kalyani University, West Bengal, Professor S.C. Yadav, Professor and Head, Department of Computer Science, Central University of Jharkhand, Kundu Da and Mr. Senthil Kumar. Thank you very much, sir, for joining the event and addressing with their valuable words in this webinar. I would like to express our sincere thanks to Professor Sweta Gaur, Director IIBM, for excellent welcome address in the webinar. I also express my sincere thanks to C.N. Prasad, Chairman, CSI Patna Chapter. I also express my sincere thanks to Professor Rohit Kumar for hosting the events. Last but not least, my sincere thanks goes to all participants of the webinar who made the event successful. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ganesh Pandey sir, for your valuable thanking session. So with the permission of all the respected dignitaries, as we are running short of time and it's a Sunday time for all of us, sir. So actually we missed with the Nayak sir. Nayak sir is not joined yet now because of network congestion. So with all your permission, I like to conclude today's session, and I pray God for a grand success of this webinar. And it was a really, really informative session from all of you, sir. Thank you so much, all of you, sir, for joining. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar. Sabhi log ko
Stay safe.
namaskar.
Good day to all of you.